Hey everyone, I'm Emily. I am the president and co-founder of Let Them Live. And if you've never heard of Let Them Live before, please check us out, letthemlive.org, or on our social media. But we are a nonprofit that exists to raise money to help support women that find themselves in unplanned pregnancies or, just less than ideal circumstances and are considering abortion because of that. It doesn't make sense to me that we live in the 21st century and abortion is still on the table and to a lot of people is like the number one option for solving problems when in reality it's just a really bad band-aid for much deeper underlying issues. But check us out. Like I said, a majority of women have abortions in the United States because of financial burden. And we exist to kind of close that gap, to help them with those financial burdens and help them make the choice that they really want to make, which is the choice of life. But what I'm making this video for today is I've been having a hard time thinking of what I want to put out on social media. There's a lot of amazing people who are making videos talking about abortion related issues. And I just didn't know where I really fit in because I didn't want to make videos that had already been made. I didn't want to make commentary in the same way that everyone else is making commentary. I'm not a political commentator, so I'm not here to talk about the laws and the legislation and the election as it relates to abortion, although maybe I will touch on some of that. But I don't know. I've been racking my brain about what I can provide to you guys that's actually a unique perspective. And that's when I kind of had an aha moment this morning. And maybe I haven't thought that I would ever use my degree. I have a degree in biology, but I thought, oh my gosh, I can take this and talk about abortion and the issues around it from a scientific perspective, from a scientific minded person. And I wanted to start by talking about the abortion pill and the abortion pill reversal. And by abortion pill, of course, I mean the abortion pill regimen, which is actually two different pills. But we're just going to hone in on the first one, which is mifepristone. But before I get into that, I want to make sure that I provide a resource for anyone who is pregnant, who has taken the first abortion pill, mifepristone, or if you know someone who has and you want to reverse it, you regret it, and you want to give your baby a fighting chance, you can go to abortionpillreversal.com. You can also call their 24/7 hotline, which is 877-558-0333. Again, that's abortionpillreversal.com, 877-558-0333. So let's get into it. Let's get into the science of it all. So I'm going to take out my handy dandy Sharpie and my little Post-it notebook. I sound like the guy from Blue's Clues, but we're gonna go ahead and draw this out. This is a really simplified um, depiction of what mifepristone and abortion pill reversal look like, but I think it's gonna hit it home. And I think this is important if we're all gonna be talking about the abortion pill regimen, abortion pill reversal, especially because it's so prevalent. A majority of abortions are done by chemical abortions, with a pill. Um, I think it's important we understand it. So, this is our uterine lining, and I'm going to go ahead and draw some receptors, and these are progesterone receptors. So, when a woman is pregnant, the body says, hey, you're pregnant, and then progesterone is going to kick into action. Progesterone is 100% critical, necessary for pregnancy to happen, for pregnancy to be maintained. So when the body knows it's pregnant, it's going to release that progesterone. Progesterone is going to go ahead and bind to these receptors. So I'm going to draw our progesterone molecules right here. These are our progesterone molecules. So they're going to bind to these receptors. And when progesterone is present, it's going to make the uterine lining nice and thick. It's not going to shed. So women are not going to have their period, obviously. And it's going to make that uterus a nice, hospitable, cozy environment for the embryo to nestle into. And it's going to provide that environment for a healthy pregnancy as the embryo develops into a fetus, as the develops into a baby. And again, human at every single one of these stages. But I digress. So that's how the progesterone and the progesterone receptors work. Now let's talk about mifepristone. Again, mifepristone is the first pill in the abortion pill regimen, and I'm going to draw it out right here. So our representation of progesterone was a triangle, and our representation of mifepristone is going to be a diamond. Okay. Mifepristone is similar to progesterone in the sense that it has an affinity for the progesterone receptors. Um, Mifepristone just has a much higher affinity. You can think of this in terms of a magnet. Mifepristone just has a stronger affinity to the progesterone receptors than progesterone does, which would essentially block progesterone from binding, which then would mean that the uterine lining is not going to be a hospitable place for the embryo. So we can see here that the mifepristone is now bound to the progesterone receptor, and now the progesterone is not going to be able to bind to it. But there's a second part to molecule receptor binding that comes into play. There's a second factor here. So we talked about affinity. There's also the factor of concentration. So if there's a high enough concentration of progesterone, that can actually overcome the effects of the mifepristone despite it having a higher affinity for the receptor and being bound. So that's where abortion pill reversal comes in. Essentially, abortion pill reversal treatment, it's not just like a one and done, you take a pill and you're done. Abortion pill reversal treatment is going to be over multiple days, and it's going to vary in dosage. It's up to a medical provider to determine that, but it's essentially putting a bunch of progesterone back into play here. So abortion pill reversal is just adding a bunch more progesterone molecules. So when there's a lot more progesterone molecules, there's a much higher chance that they're going to bind to all these receptors. So I'm going to show it as like this. There's 3 receptors that have progesterone molecules and only one that has a mifepristone molecule bound to it. And even though the mifepristone has a higher affinity, the progesterone is now bound to more. It's in higher concentration, which can actually overcome the effects of the mifepristone despite the mifepristone still being present. So that's exactly what abortion pill reversal is. And it's so simple. You don't need a degree or anything to understand that mifepristone blocks progesterone. And the way to overcome that is to put more progesterone into play. So it's honestly quite simple. I've seen a lot of people talk about how abortion pill reversal isn't effective, it isn't safe, blah, 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 just completely dismissing abortion pill reversal treatment. And I don't know if it's a political agenda or what, but the reality is that abortion pill reversal does work. I've seen it work. I know babies that are healthy, thriving, doing wonderful. Um, and we all have stories. We can all share stories about different things, how maybe it didn't work or whatever. And sometimes it won't work, but at least you're going to give your child a fighting chance. But I guess I just don't understand why there's so much misinformation and why so many people have taken it upon themselves to completely like shut down any talk of abortion pill reversal as an option. And especially people who are pro-choice. I think it's important that women understand that even though they've taken that first abortion pill, that there is still hope that they can reverse it, because a lot of women change their minds. And if this really is about choice, then women need to be informed about all of their options, including abortion pill reversal. That needs to be something that is discussed and women know about. I've also heard people talk about how abortion pill reversal treatment is not safe or healthy or whatever, due to the high dose of progesterone. And here's what I'm going to say to that. There may very well be side effects to high progesterone levels. I'm not going to deny that. I don't know what they are. I'm not saying they don't exist. That may very well be. But I think the discrepancy comes when the same people who are trying to discredit abortion pill reversal by saying that, oh, the high levels of progesterone are bad, are the same people advocating for and maybe even being silent on IVF or embryo adoption, like myself, the same hormones, okay? Progesterone, the same delivery methods of the progesterone, the same dose range of progesterone that is used in abortion pill reversal is used in IVF and embryo adoption, okay? So I'm familiar with this. I have done this. I have been on a progesterone regimen. And are there side effects? Absolutely. But I just don't hear the same, um, maybe alarm bells that people are raising for abortion pill reversal for the IVF hormone treatment process, or again, embryo adoption, which is kind of the tail end of the IVF process with the hormone treatment. And I just think that that kind of makes me really think that there is a political agenda because it's the exact same. It's the exact same. Now, again, the dosage may vary, but I mean, I was on a very high dose of progesterone after I did our embryo transfer last year for embryo adoption. But because I think it didn't have anything to do with abortion, then all of a sudden it's just doesn't apply. I'm not really sure. But I just wanted to point that out because it actually is safe. Okay. Abortion pill reversal is safe. It's okay. Um, Millions of women are on this hormone regimen, okay? So it's not like it's some crazy dangerous thing. And I think it's important for people to kind of, I don't know, just calm down. I think people hear the word abortion and they immediately go into like crazy mode because they're so afraid of their rights being taken away or whatever. I don't really know. I don't think it's actually a neutral commentary that a lot of people have about abortion pill reversal. I think it's politically motivated and that kind of sucks. So I think it's important to kind of zoom out and actually look at the science behind it and look at the applications of hormone treatment like abortion pill reversal treatment. And again, how it's used in IVF and embryo adoption and probably a lot of other things that I don't know about. But my message to everyone is that abortion pill reversal can work. Abortion pill reversal is safe. The one thing, I mean, one of the main things that the pro life community, pro life medical community, pro life activist community, whatever, one of the main things that we care about is women. We care about women. That's why we're against abortion because we know abortion hurts women mentally, physically, emotionally, and so on. So it, we would never promote something that would harm a woman. Does it have its risks? Absolutely. But do you know what has risks also? And potentially even more harmful risks is the abortion pill regimen. Abortion itself, any abortion at any point in time, is going to have really long lasting effects, but no one talks about that. Okay. It's just a one sided thing that you see where people are completely against abortion pill reversal because you're getting an increased dose of progesterone, um, but which is made naturally in the body. Um, but no one's talking about the harms of taking mifepristone and misoprostol and the effects of, surgical abortions. So I just think it's a little one sided. And I don't know. I hope this video is something that you guys like. I think I want to do more videos like this talking about it because I think it's important to understand just the basics, like ABC 101 of, what is a very heated issue, what's a very polarizing issue. So again, just for anyone, I want to end this by resharing the resource. If you have taken the first pill, the first abortion pill, mifepristone, there is time. If you've done it within 72 hours, you can reverse that. So go to abortionpillreversal.com, or you can contact the 24/7 helpline, which is 877 558 0333.